Here's part 2 of Bokashi from start to finish. Hi, I'm Compost Fairy. Welcome to my channel. Alrighty, so before we get into part 2, I want to welcome any new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. And then also hello to my OGs. And if you are watching this, I hope that you find this to be educational, fun, and give you peace. So if you haven't checked out part 1, I have put it in my description below, the link. Check it out. That gives kind of a info on what Bokashi is, what it kind of does, why it's important, how it works, and how you can fill your own Bokashi bin. Part 2 is going to show you how you can dispose of your Bokashi. So once you've built that bin, once you've gotten that nice white fluffy mold and it has that nice fermented smell, what the fuck do you do with it? Well, you're going to find out today. So I'm going to show you 2 of 3 methods that you can use to dispose of your Bokashi. And the third one, I said 2 because the third one I haven't actually tried yet. And so I will try that soon. So once I get a full bin, I will definitely post a video about what that is. That's making a soil factory, and it's just really good for small spaces and if you don't have a yard or a compost. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is going to be just showing you how we can dispose of our Bokashi, best practices, what it looks like, and then showing you a final product. So let's get into it. So the first method of disposal for getting rid of the Bokashi bin is by putting it straight up in the compost bin. But you don't want to just add it straight in there by itself. You want to mix it in with some browns. And that's going to help in terms of getting some really good decomposition. It'll help break down the browns as well. And it'll help it not just be kind of a sludgy food mess, because then if it's like that, it becomes anaerobic. When it becomes anaerobic like that, it releases methane, and we don't want that. And so adding it to the bin and mixing it in with your browns is going to be very essential. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, this is our first bin. We see lots of fluffy white mold. That's a great sign, means fermentation has occurred and that the bin is ready to be processed. Alrighty, oh my god, this thing is heavy. I'm going to grab my bin. I'm just going to dump it in there. So, boom, baby. We have some leftover juice. I'm going to pour the juice in there as well. All right, so the Bokashi's in here. So I'm going to kind of break it up a bit. Definitely don't want to leave it like this because, well, it would take forever to break down. And so I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Now, the brown that I'm going to be mixing with the Bokashi is going to be these wood chips right here. So I'm going to grab these wood chips. I'm going to add them to this bin. I'm going to mix everything nice and together. Alrighty, these wood chips have been added. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lift the Bokashi scraps up and mix it in with the wood chips. All right, so the Bokashi and the wood chips have been fused together. I have them nice and mixed. But I don't want to leave it like this. I'm going to top it off with some paper, another brown, so that we have everything nice and covered. Paper has been added. It is covering up all of the food scraps. And don't forget to water a bit. I always forget to add that on my videos. But yeah, water it in real nicely. Alrighty, and this is our first method of disposal for Bokashi. Let's check out our second one, which is burying your scraps. Okay, so the second method of disposal when it comes to Bokashi is simply burying it in your garden or in your yard. And so I have dug a hole, and so I'm gonna dump the contents in the hole, mix it in with the soil, cover back up, and call it a day. So here's the hole right here. This is in one of my garden beds. Yes, I know the bed looks crazy. Don't look at that part. But I've dug a little trench almost right here. So I'm going to dump this Bokashi all up in there. So here's the bin. Again, we see that white mold on there. That's a good sign. So I'm just going to dump it in the hole. Alrighty, I have my little trowel. So I'm going to just kind of spread the food out into the trench. All right, everything has been nice and spread out into the trench. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna get a little bit of, so this is the soil that I dug up. I'm gonna get a little bit of it and kind of put it on there and first mix it in with the food scraps. Why do I wanna do that? Well, that's going to kind of just help it break down a little bit easier. And then you're also gonna get access to the microbes that are present in the soil as well. So I'm just gonna mix a little bit of the dirt or the soil, I should say, with the Bokashi contents. And so also adding Bokashi to your garden is going to give it like a jam-packed flow of nutrients. Adding it directly to the garden is such a perfect thing to do, especially if you're wanting to amend your soil. You can add a Bokashi bucket and jam pack it with so much nutrients. It's not even funny. So adding it to your soil is definitely great and highly recommended. So now I'm gonna add the rest of the soil back in on top of the rest of the Bokashi. And alrighty, the food scraps have been covered. It honestly looks like nothing is there. And you are done when you get to this point. If you want some extra security, you can put some cardboard on top of it to kind of just like maybe remember where you put it, or to like keep pests away. But honestly, it's buried so deep enough to where nothing should be bothering this little pile or area. Just making sure that all the food scraps are covered so you don't have to deal with anything trying to dig through it. But yeah, and now we wait 2 weeks. Now you may be wondering, after 2 weeks, after we let it sit for 2 weeks, what happens next? Well, your Bokashi pretty much all breaks down. Let me show you what that looks like. I'd say maybe about 18 days ago, I added this Bokashi bin that you see on the screen to this here compost bin. And so I I added it and covered up with the browns. And so if I dig in here, I'm not going to see any more of those orange food scraps that you saw in the picture. It has all broken down, most of it at least. There's still some, I think a little bit of remnants of food, but most of it has broken down and it's this nice brown color. It got mixed in with the wood chips, so that's going to help break the wood chips down as well. But as you can see, there's no type of food scraps here at the top where I originally put it. And I didn't add anything after this either. It all has broken down and accumulated itself into the compost. We do see a lot of, let me see if I can find any, black soldier fly larvae. Yay, yay. Good sign. So, yeah. It's a nice process. Breaks it down quickly. Adds some great nutrients to the bin or your pile. It's just amazing for the compost. Alrighty, y'all. We have made it to the end. This is the end of part 2 of our 2-part series on Bokashi composting. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a nice time. If you have any questions or any comments or anything like that, please put them in the comments below. I would love to answer them, talk, have a little discussion, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm Compost Fairy. Thank you so much for watching and happy composting.